Swanee River, far, far away. That's where my heart is yearning ever, home where the old folks stay.
Welcome to Florida Men on Florida Man, a very special episode of The Social. We are here today with Chemical Kim. Kim went on the air in 2006 with the Chemical Kim Science Show, teaching people all over the country about science and chemistry. She still does the news circuit, so you may have seen her on the television. She is the recipient of the Philo T. Farnsworth Award, and her handle is Chemical Kim across all social media and chemicalkim.com. Kim, how are you?
I am fantastic. My chemical brain is exploding to be here with you three. A dream come true. You have no idea.
I'm blushing.
Seriously.
We're honored. We're flattered. I was geeking out this morning, and we got to spend some time together before production, and that helped calm me down. But just so you know, I'm still geeking out.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's a big deal for us.
Well, it's the same for sure.
I don't know what to do with my hands right now. I'm just like,
You never do that. So.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, the first thing I thought of whenever you said Chemical Kim was I ran into Chemical Kim on TikTok before this was
Really?
even a thing where
Right.
we were like, before we even talking about bringing her on. But
yeah.
her TikTok is incredible, and I don't know if I'm jumping the gun here
You're
about talking
jumping the
about
gun,
the
yeah.
TikTok.
No, it's special.
But it is so incredibly just fun and educational, obviously too, but just super cool.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to brag, but I came across her first on Instagram where I asked her a science question, and she helped me locate free radicals during a terpene ozone gas reaction.
Yeah. Josh and I met up and we went out at night.
Yep.
We had
Okay.
these like special free radical glasses.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yeah, it was a wild night.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And like I'm like, look, an odd number of electrons.
and I
Let's go
couldn't
that
see
way.
them. That's the weird thing. I guess my eyes weren't adjusted, but she was pointing them out all over the place.
Why weren't we invited to this?
Yeah,
Do you remember when you two hung out and like a baby flew on the swing and I
true.
didn't get invited to that?
Right, that's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why.
I see what happens
I'm
now.
still trying to figure out all the words that you were talking about just a second ago.
Yeah. She taught me those words.
Well, we saw an opportunity. We have an expert on the show, and she brought some kind of science-themed headlines for Cameron.
Yes.
Exciting.
And one thing that Cameron's headlines have lacked is science.
In education.
In education.
In general.
Knowledge.
Right.
Yeah,
Fact checking specifically.
Well, as you know, this is like a dream come true,
Okay.
and to be able to do the sort of Florida Man
Right.
podcast, I wanted to be part of it. I wanted to be like headlines,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
And
You got to replace the worst part of the show with your own great part. So we appreciate that very much.
Thank you for improving specifically my section.
no,
Yeah.
not improving it because
No.
Cameron's the only one that actually gets a segment here. So
Oh,
I'm
that's
taking
true.
over Josh.
Oh, that's true.
Okay.
And so-
Yeah, the
Now I feel-
entire.
Now I feel
the
honored.
entire
So now we
show.
know who my favorite is.
Look
right
how
here.
he's blushing.
Oh my
He's
God.
blushing
turning
right
red
now.
Now I'm not going to be able to read.
He's turning red.
All right, so our first headline, we have when your child gets an ear infection. This is specifically Wayne can deal with this as well.
Right.
Chances are the doctor will prescribe antibiotics
Okay.
that many parents called the pink stuff, also known as amoxicillin.
And it's delicious.
Okay.
Isn't it?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a real
It's
thing?
delicious.
Having no kids,
Right.
Right.
I only have a dog, but I don't really do anything for her when she gets ear infections.
Now,
So I'm
you don't give her
lost
pink
here.
stuff?
No, I didn't know I was supposed to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right. So, what happens when Floridians have living coral in the ocean that also get sick?
Okay.
All right. Why not
Okay.
try the pink stuff?
Really?
This is a segue.
The same stuff?
And guess
Same
what?
stuff.
The
No.
same stuff works.
Is it a liquid?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, they make it like a paste.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a Play-Doh, and then they just slap it on
Yep.
the coral?
100%.
I knew
Yes.
it. That's how my science brain was thinking.
So we
how
have
they
people
would
that
do
are
it.
using this in the ocean on living coral, but Josh can't even get it for his dog. Okay. Well,
Okay.
I think
yeah. I love
think
my
that says a
dogs.
lot. So just off Florida's coast, coral are being infected with a stony coral tissue loss disease. Okay, which we knew.
Right.
We
Right.
did know that.
And so
I
we have
knew
a
that.
Florida woman, scientist Erin Schilling, and her research group from Florida Atlantic University have found that within about 3 months of the amoxicillin treatment, about 95% of infected coral tissues have healed.
That's absolutely
Goodness.
crazy.
It's
That's
amazing.
so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, because correct me if I'm wrong.
We will.
Coral is like a living, not stone, but
There he goes.
kind of. I mean, some of them are like
Those
have
eyes.
same-
If you could see Cameron's eyes right now, they got
I'm
real
searching.
big.
I'm searching for.
I mean, the term stone is considered non-living,
Sure.
but sure, you know, I mean,
hold on,
you
let me-
can
somebody
you
have a
can put
pen?
life to it, and we'll call it the living stone. I
Right.
like that. I
Oh,
do.
I like
living
that.
stone.
But
That's what I've always said.
What I love about this story is that one, she's a very young scientist, this
Oh,
Florida
wow.
woman,
Yep.
and her work is just incredible to think outside of the box,
Right.
Yep.
You know, and recognizing that hey,
This might
here's
work.
right, yeah.
Which I feel like a lot of science is just like, trying to find a solution to something. And with this, I feel like the environmental repercussions of losing the coral, are long-standing.
right.
There you
So
go.
Yes.
solving it here
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Wayne
Yeah.
gets so preachy about repairing the coral. Once you get him started,
This is
it's
my
like-
avenue.
It really
I
is.
guarantee you, though, that Aaron has an easier time giving the coral the amoxicillin antibiotic rather than Wayne has given his daughters.
I have 2
amoxicillin.
Irish daughters, and yes,
Okay.
Or any children, not just like Wayne's children.
well, I'm just saying both of my daughters, they're feisty.
Have you tried making it into a paste and just
And
And
just,
just
smearing
applying it
on
to
there.
their forehead?
Yeah.
Or do it maybe how Josh gives medicine to his dog, put it in cheese.
Oh, there you go.
That's it. Yeah,
that
I
is
just
true.
forget the medicine part. I think that's where I'm missing.
I've been giving my dog cheese for a month, and she still has an ear infection. I have no idea what's going on.
He's got some bowel movements.
All right,
That's
our
amazing.
next one. All right, so we have in Florida genetically modified mosquito eggs.
Yes.
Okay.
That were placed in boxes on private property in the Florida Keys, and they have hatched and are ready to take flight and start mating with the lady mosquitoes down in the Keys.
Nice.
Wow.
All
What a
right,
good
so we're
time.
getting a little risque on this
Yeah,
show,
that's
and that's
okay.
okay. This is the first outdoor test on genetically modified mosquitoes in the U.S. and will be utilized to shrink mosquito populations.
Come
Can I get an
on.
amen?
Ideally,
Yeah.
you can get an amen.
I
Thank you.
feel like the fact that we're the testing ground for it
Yeah.
says a lot.
Why
Oh.
wouldn't we be?
Because they're like, look, if it goes wrong, it's just Florida. But it's not going to go wrong.
And it's just down in the Keys.
There
Oh,
you go.
yeah. It's
There
stuck-
you-
know.
They're stuck on an island.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
They're
Because
landlocked.
mosquitoes can't make it to the mainland.
No, they
right?
don't like the
They're
7
just-
Mile Bridge,
it's too
right?
far.
They hate that bridge.
Well, we've talked about it before on the show. Like, it's one of the things about Florida. I don't think people realize the density of our mosquitoes. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
you
The
can't even go
density.
outside.
Oh, of mosquitoes, the
Like,
population.
The population, yeah, it's like
Yeah.
clouds.
Well,
And
they're
you
very
shared-
thick and firm too. So
Right.
You're
Yeah, they're heavy.
Yeah.
They're heavy bugs.
You know, and you've shared so many stories that
Yeah.
people coming to Florida in the past,
Right.
the heat and the mosquitoes.
Right,
That's,
right.
You know, and when you see pictures and read historical accounts of when they say built the Alligator Alley,
Right.
Yeah.
could
right.
you imagine
Nightmares.
the
Oh.
mosquito nightmare?
Now, as somebody who's listening and they go genetically modified mosquitoes,
Yep.
What would you say to kind of like ease their mind? If,
Okay, so 2 things with this test.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The females, when they are hatched, they won't see adulthood. So that's one part of this, putting this breed out. So
Right.
it's
Okay.
not like they're going to go and sting people and all of a sudden you have this now new
Okay.
chemical in you that you never had before
Right.
that
Okay.
could lead to some health issues.
Or
Right.
euthanizing premature female mosquitoes.
We are.
Oh,
are.
right.
Well,
And
I'm
then-
against that.
Well, you might like this other
Okay.
part. The males that are born,
Right.
half of them will carry their daughter killing disease. So it's
Right.
like
Okay.
they'll
Yeah,
just
that's
pass
what my
that
notes
on.
say. Yeah.
Do they say that?
Yes, for
Yeah.
for the male offspring, half of them will carry their dad's daughter-killing trait.
Jeez.
Which what a sentence, honestly.
So, and then
Yeah.
they will then
Not a trait
pass
that
that
Continue.
on
Yep.
to other
Okay.
mosquitoes,
Okay.
and eventually
Yeah.
the population dwindles.
all right,
Right.
right.
It's taken
So
a while, but I got
Yeah.
it.
for the next
Yeah.
12 weeks, expect up to 12,000 genetically modified mosquitoes to take flight each week.
Nice.
Right. Which I
if
have
you
probably
think
in my
about
house
it,
at
you know,
one
it's
time.
kind of like
Yeah.
COVID is moving. This is just
Wow.
another sign that we're becoming a little bit more social, and the mosquitoes are showing us that.
Right.
Okay.
Right. That's amazing.
I get
Here's
it.
what I found super interesting too.
That's
So it's not going to remove all the mosquitoes, like the entire
Okay.
mosquito population from the
because that
Keys.
would probably cause problems. Am
Yeah,
I right?
of course.
Okay.
You won't get a good test, obviously.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
To kill all mosquitoes. Bad idea.
We
But this
need some.
says
We need them.
this test is for only one of the near 45 mosquito species living
What?
in the Keys.
Goodness.
I had no idea that there were 45
45
mosquito species.
I wonder if there's a species that is liked better than the rest. Like if there's like
by
one
the
out of
other
the 45,
mosquitoes or like by people.
like they
They have character traits like
popular mosquito
Right.
species.
Okay.
Yeah.
like
and
a
then-
cool guy jock.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, I know because I would think that was cool. Maybe like a I don't know, one with like cool hair or something.
Someone with moxie.
if
Yeah,
I'm
there
going to
it
go
is.
outside right now, I want to know what species is going to get me, like specifically. I don't,
Right.
45 species could get me.
Because then
So,
you
yeah, so that's actually a good question because
What's the
obviously
most?
I'm super interested in getting kids excited about science.
Right.
That's
Right.
one of my big thing with my outreach. So Cameron, would you have been the kid that when you got stung by a mosquito, would you try and save that dead mosquito and bring it into your house and be like, okay, this mosquito looks different than this one, and like put them in
Not a
categories?
chance.
No, but
Not
now
a
I feel like I
chance.
should have done that.
They are smacked flat instantly, and then he is scratching that
Right.
itch all over his body.
I feel, but here's the thing,
I'm
though.
spreading it.
To answer Kim's question, I think Josh would have. I could see
Ideally,
Josh comparing
yeah.
mosquitoes.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like other bugs,
Mhm.
like beetles specifically,
Okay.
like those kind of bugs, like I feel like I would be more interested. But mosquitoes, man, I just don't want them.
Cam's got a whole collection of dung beetles by his septic
Right.
tank. I don't know
Oh,
what.
really?
Yeah.
I bring them inside at night though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal.
And I just want to say, in all seriousness, my mom says that I get stung more often because I'm so sweet. Is that? Is there any science to that, or is
Okay.
that?
There has
Well,
to be.
they always say there's
That's
something
diabetes.
with, the
Sorry, that's maybe true or not. I don't. I'm
No.
not diagnosing.
right. I've heard it's lactic acid, but I'm not the
I regret
Scientist,
saying
professional
that.
on
I
the
regret
show.
saying that.
If I'm
at all.
honest, my feet, and you can see these veins right here on my ankles. Look at
Okay.
this. Look at
This
this.
they're
turning-
screaming for mosquitoes.
They always get mosquitoes. If there's a crowd of 10 people,
right.
I'm the first one to go, is anybody else getting eaten up? And then my ankles swell
just a
up like
cloud of
floaties.
mosquitoes around
wow.
your feet.
Wow.
And then I'll float to the surface, but upside down if I'm in a
See,
pool.
and you were wondering if you were popular, Josh. You
Very
got the-
popular with bugs.
But I love this though, and I think this is one of the ways that science is helping improve the standard of living and in
Nice.
life, and it's really neat, and I feel like it's just really appropriate that it's happening in Florida.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I mean, the GM mosquito has been something that we have been wanting to put out as a test, and
Okay.
of course, it gets a lot of back and forth in the public. But the more you know, the more you're educated, the more you understand
Right.
that it's really not going to hurt you.
No.
It's not going to affect the human population, except make your living a little bit more comfortable.
Right.
Right. We're just creating terrible fathers in the mosquito
Okay.
world. Yeah. Daughter killing. Yeah.
Half of them.
Only half of them.
Only half of
yeah.
them.
No worries there.
Now so one of the things we do often on our show is we allow Josh to educate us.
Right.
Which is-
That's a strong word.
That is a strong word. I'll
he'll
admit to that.
quiz Cameron and I occasionally.
Yes.
But Kim, you've brought a quiz for Josh.
I actually,
Well-
they're for all of you.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I keep trying
That's
to
the
push it off
second
on
time
Josh.
that he's tried to push off having to answer the questions
that
himself.
cost me $20 to spread this quiz all around, but it was well worth it.
Well, I do love Josh's segment, and when I'm
Thank you.
listening, I always have this image that he like lifts a paper out of his back
Sometimes I
pocket
do.
He does.
and just
He
like
does.
kind of open it up.
Take it
Well,
out
we
of the
have
envelope.
a
Okay.
paper unfolding sound effect
Yeah.
that Cameron
Okay,
pumps
that's
in.
what I thought. Okay, so
We
hey,
have one here for us.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I have to do this Josh style.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
please.
do it.
hey, fellas.
Hey.
That was
yeah,
identical.
Kim.
That's so good.
I feel like identity theft just happened here live on the show.
You've been replaced.
Ah,
I love it.
I'm gonna cry.
Okay.
Okay, so listening to all the wonderful episodes on Florida Man or Florida Men of Florida Man,
Right.
I have learned that Florida used to be known to be the place of settlement for those just running from something or someone.
Amen.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's highly likely that a few alchemists probably made their way down here in Florida to do their experiments.
Right.
Okay.
Right? So
Easily.
here's the question.
Oh gosh.
And think of Florida when you answer
Okay.
this.
Okay.
Which element is the only element that has a chemical symbol that describes how it was discovered? And as a hint, the alchemist that discovered this element was Henrik Brand, a German alchemist in 1669.
Yeah.
Now, you
That
don't
helps,
have,
actually. That
you
narrows
get
it
a
down for
choice.
me.
You get a choice.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good.
So,
okay.
is it nitrogen, whose element symbol is N?
Okay.
Oxygen, whose element symbol is O?
Okay.
Phosphorus, whose element symbol is P, and fluorine, whose element symbol is F. And first, we'll go with Wayne.
I'm gonna say, because I feel like it's low hanging fruit, I'm gonna say fluorine because of the F and it being Florida.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I think.
I was going to pick off the list.
Okay,
You're
go
not,
for it.
you're not allowed to do
100.
that.
It's
Yeah.
not.
You're buzzing in a new.
Sure.
I thought it would be
As a
curveball.
professor, I love that write-in. You know.
Well, I'm confident in it because in Florida I get bored. So I would say something like borium, if that's something.
Boron is not that boring, but
It's also not even.
in some
gets a
circles
bad
they call
rap.
it borium. In some circles,
if you
I'm told.
excite boron, it turns this beautiful green. Gosh.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm excited by it. It's some people aren't though. And
This
Florida
guy.
is green. Boron is what I meant.
We
Yeah.
bring
You're a boron.
a professional on.
Oh wow.
So good.
Stick to the multiple choice next time.
Yes, I will.
Okay, Cameron.
Oh man, my first instinct was go with the F option, which I remember what it was called for sure. But
Fluorine.
okay, fluorine,
Yep.
just because of the Florida hit.
Right.
Think
Yeah.
Florida. So but I don't know if I want to go with the same answer as
You
Wayne.
You don't.
I'm gonna go with another option. Oxygen.
Oh.
Safe
I feel like
Okay,
it's like
So I need to move you guys along a little bit here.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
What is one thing that Polk County is known for? What's
Meth.
the big
Meth.
like for industry for
Oranges.
phosphate.
phosphate?
Oh my
Phosphate.
gosh.
Phosphate.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
phosphorus.
Bartow.
And this is crazy.
No way.
Phosphorus was discovered by this German chemist in
We looked
1669,
dumb.
right? By purifying gallons, like hundreds of gallons of urine.
No.
So what is its symbol? Say it, Josh.
P.
Yes!
No way. Are you serious?
Okay.
Isn't that great?
That is so cool.
That is so great. So here, because we're Florida, I'm going to be a Florida man today.
Yeah, please.
Because
Wow,
we're
this is
Florida men,
good.
right?
This is good.
And we solve problems.
Right.
And
Yes.
the concern, of course, is phosphorus mining and the environment impact.
Mm-hmm.
Why not start saving urine?
Come
Okay.
on.
Okay.
Right?
I'm willing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, Cameron has said that.
Yeah.
He's got bags at the house.
Yeah.
He's
You
been
are
try-
on
I've
track.
asked, why
He's
is
been
nobody
trying
else
to
doing
find-
this?
Here's my thing though. So how did they discover that though? Like who was the person that was like, hey, let's collect this
So
pee?
it wasn't just like you looked at your urine and like, hey, there's phosphorus in it.
Sure.
Well,
With
some of us do.
chemistry, what do we usually do with chemistry, right?
Blow it up.
We'll
Burn
try
it,
and do
heat
that,
it
but you
up.
can't blow up
You
urine.
heat it up.
Right.
Heat
You
up
let
urine.
it sit and
Oh,
you
you let
wait
it
till
sit.
like
That was my
really
next
starts
guess.
to evaporate and ferment
Right.
and maybe get some worms in
So
there.
what
and
happens when urine sits for too long?
It starts to kind of a little bit putrid, darker in color,
Yeah.
right?
Well, mine's like apple
the
cider vinegar.
volume
I'll show you.
decreases with
Yeah.
evaporation.
Yeah.
And you heat that up even more.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And you do a little chemistry with that
Yeah.
heating, and you collect what's getting released
Right.
or what you're, like what's being
Yeah.
left inside your
He
little
had to be
crucible.
really annoying to neighbors.
Well, this is really cool because phosphorus,
Yeah.
it spontaneously ignites. So
oh my gosh.
Wow.
that name
pea
light
bomb.
bearing is where the
pea
name
bomb.
phosphorus came from.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, just how amazing. And would that have been an approach to electricity, like before electricity,
This
to
is-
light homes? Use
Right.
your phosphorus, like save your pee. But again, being here in Florida and our phosphorus, so many people outside of Florida don't recognize
Yeah.
the need they have for Floridians to
Wow.
give them that phosphate.
Come on.
Right.
Right?
True.
This is
well, we
nuts.
can still give. We
Right.
still have that
We
capability.
have more to give.
This,
We do.
I love how Wayne and I.
validation is just
Right.
like
Yep.
I love how
overwhelming.
you said
It went
think
so many
Florida.
layers.
You said think Florida, and Wayne and I immediately went for
F.
F starts. F is the first letter in Florida. That's
See, I
gotta be
threw
it.
you.
Dum-dums.
We're good
just,
students.
Just so you
Kim.
know, if you were in my chemistry class, I wouldn't do that to you.
I appreciate that so much.
Okay, so
dum-dums.
next one. Ready?
Okay.
Almost every high school track in Florida is 400 meters in length.
Okay.
I'm assuming, right?
I've
We used to
run
have like
plenty of them.
440, like
Right.
like 4 laps was a mile.
As a runner,
Okay.
I know what you're
Right, you know, exactly. That's why I thought about this, Josh. So in 2017, 2 Miamians climbed to the top of Mount Everest, which would be equivalent in length to about 22 laps on the 400-meter high school track.
Okay.
That's about 5.5 miles.
Right.
Okay.
Of course it is.
So here's the question. If you climb Florida's highest natural point, which is Britton Hill, how many laps on the track would be equivalent
Wow.
to the height of Britton Hill?
That is such a great question.
Here's your choices.
Okay.
1 lap, half a lap. You're lucky if you like it. Let me say this again. If you're lucky if you hike as far as the 100-meter dash,
Okay.
or 2 laps.
Okay. I'll go first.
400 meters, you said?
Yeah, so 1 lap, 400 meters.
Okay. I just had to.
Okay.
Because my
Uh,
tracks. Are,
I think in inches normally, in feet. So, Josh, how many feet is 400
well,
meters?
you have approximately 3 feet in a meter.
Okay. Do the math.
You got it.
No, I'm not doing the math for you. 3 times 4.
I was gonna say.
Well, we usually say yards if we're going to do that type of conversion,
Whoops.
feet to yards.
He
but,
can't do yards. Though.
I mean, it's good. It's good. Totally good.
I like half a track.
Half a track.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say. So I'm going to
Okay.
go 1 track. But I know
Okay.
that's wrong.
What was the third answer?
So you're lucky if you hike as far as
That's
the
probably a good
100
one.
meter dash
That's
or
me.
2
That's,
laps.
that's me.
Josh has it.
Come on.
It's like 110
Florida.
meters. Or,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's
what-
the highest we have to offer.
That's it. And we're like
we have
close
phosphorus.
to.
Phosphate.
We
Yeah,
do have
we
phosphate.
do have that
right.
to
So
offer.
we may be super flat,
Right.
but there's a lot to be said about the flatness.
That is true.
There's a lot more underneath.
In
and,
our heart.
and within.
Come on.
Okay, we're not superficial. We're
He's
not
going back
We don't have
to
to be showy.
right. We don't have to be
No.
showy.
No,
We know what we have to
truncated-
offer.
Truncated
And
hills.
we quietly
Right.
Give
Look
that.
within.
Yep.
Yep. Not afraid to let people just look across and see everything.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you, Kim.
We're not hiding anything.
Not at all.
Look, this episode
Okay.
has done more for my confidence than anything we've done together in 2.5 years.
Exactly.
I love
Ain't
this.
nothing
100%.
to say. for
Okay,
these two
last
guys.
question.
Okay.
Ready? Having the name Chemical Kim and also being a chemist, you can understand the difficulties I've had with keeping long-term relationships.
Okay.
This is because throughout history, accidents in the chemistry lab do occur.
Oh,
Jeez, okay.
Mostly accidental, and some have been fatal.
Oh,
Right.
really?
So a few
Okay.
examples.
Exciting.
1846,
This is
a
good.
chemist named Sobrero blew off half his face when he discovered, Josh knows this, nitroglycerin.
Nitroglycerin.
Yep.
Okay.
That sounds. Yep.
And I feel like he's going to say all the answers. I should jump
I was.
at it.
I was about to jump in
He
there.
was ready. Yeah.
In 1996, Ray Dudelis died from an acetylene explosion at a Florida Petroleum Research Lab. And in 1997, a chemist named Karen Witterhahn died by a few drops. This is crazy. A few drops of dimethyl mercury, which fell on her gloved, her gloved hands in the chemistry
what?
lab. I know, right?
Like tobacco, right?
Yeah.
Nicotine.
Oh my God.
Getting
Well,
1 drop of nicotine.
And she
on
died
you.
from
No,
that on her
but-
hand.
Yeah,
my
yeah. I
gosh.
know. It's very tragic,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I'm
So
not for
here's the question.
I'm not
Moving
for it.
into
Okay.
that. In the late 1980s, an angry chemist and Florida man,
No.
George Trabal of Alturas, Florida, spiked Coca-Cola with a poisonous chemical element in the hopes of harming his neighbors, who he perceived to be noisy and inconsiderate.
What?
I could get
What
there.
poisonous chemical element did George add to the cola? Was it arsenic, radium, thallium, or osmium?
Okay.
Boron's not on there.
No, I'm telling
Okay.
you, boron's not boring.
That must be my quiz. I'm thinking.
I think it's arsenic only because I feel
Really?
like I've heard that before.
Okay.
Okay.
And I feel like someone can maybe get their hands on some arsenic, like at Home
Right.
Depot or something.
But you said an element.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mm.
oh, sorry, Cameron. with your eyes.
Arsenic is an element.
Yeah, we know
I
that.
knew that.
Yeah.
I was making sure Wayne
Yeah.
knew.
Okay.
I knew it.
Okay. Wayne?
I just said.
Oh,
Arsenic.
Okay.
Okay. Well, radium would be
Radium?
my.
Okay.
my
I'm going to
first
go
guess.
off the answer list.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, it's an element.
Another
Okay,
write-in.
Sorry. The second answer.
Which was radium.
The third one is what I was thinking.
Oh, thallium.
Thallium.
Again, Josh.
There's no way.
Josh has got it.
Thallium is a
Thallium.
beautiful element when you
Okay.
look at it.
And now
It
what
is-
happened though?
Well, okay, so just to go back to your arsenic
Yeah, yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
So I
Dum-dum.
know you all know the chemical elements, and I'm sure you've
Right,
been
right.
wondering why does arsenic have that like ick ending?
Yeah,
Because
that
most of them are like
suffix.
thallium,
Right.
radium. I mean, the halogens have the ON, like
You're preaching-
or INE,
you're preaching
like
what we're
fluorine,
thinking.
right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
the noble gases have that ON.
Yep,
So there's like
neon.
this pattern.
right.
Right.
Well, arsenic, the story is, and it was a monk that supposedly discovered it, but I'm sure others have discovered it too, but he was the one that got to name it.
Okay.
And rumor is he either one didn't like women or
Uh-oh.
he just had a bad experience with a woman because he gave it a female ending, the ick. And it's a
Really?
poison. So it's like a
Really?
female poison.
Wow.
Shame on
I
him.
know. Shame on him.
Shame on
That
him.
sounds like a monk.
I know. Yeah. I am waiting for the next element to be named after Florida, but the problem that we have is that we have F for fluorine,
Right.
Yeah.
and then there is
we said.
FL, which is fluoridium.
Right.
And that
Fluoride.
was
I love that
actually
one.
announced, I think, back in 2012, if I'm right about that.
Wait, so we're
it's a
still
newly discovered-
developing. Or
We are.
Not is it
Here he
developing or
goes.
finding?
We are creating.
Okay, creating.
Yeah, so
Like developing.
yeah, it's amazing that we can make these chemical elements.
Okay.
And you can ask, like, what's the point of having man-made or not
Amen.
going beyond man-made, right?
Right,
Or
right.
human-made.
Yep.
And so, some of them are for sure just to say, yeah, wow, we could do this.
Right.
And that's really where we're at, I think, now with making these
Okay.
really heavy elements. But there is one that's probably in this room right now,
No.
Oxygen.
right?
Oh my God.
That is life-saving.
Oxygen.
Okay.
That
I'll buzz
one
in.
is that's a naturally occurring element. But you're good. You're good. Diatomic oxygen.
This guy.
We
I
also
love
have
it. I love
nitrogen.
it.
It's
Cameron
crazy.
tried
They're,
so hard.
There's
they're
so
all
many.
around us. They're
Yeah.
watching us.
Okay.
But this one was made by nuclear reactions that we have
Lithium,
done
one of the most
as a
light
nuclear
materials. Amen.
Just let her
lithium?
talk.
Nope. But it's probably as close right now as we can get as Florida men to having an element named after us.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's americium. So it's named after America.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's in smoke detectors.
Oh,
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, we don't have any of those in here.
no.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good because I plan on burning a few things with you guys today.
Yes.
So it's like naming a new one. Is it like the Olympics where you have to like every 4 years it's like rotates and then they get to name it?
Well, of course, it's who discovers it that gets to name it,
that
right?
too. I didn't know
And-
if it was also like the Olympics.
There for the most part, there's some rules, and it doesn't get named right away. Obviously, there were 4 that were announced, I think, back in 2016. Those are the most recent, and it was really crazy to have 4 announced at the same year.
Right.
It's weird.
That was a
Yeah,
wild year.
yeah, but it's one of those things like everything in science. If you do a discovery, you're not going to be like, oh, okay, now all of a sudden we all agree with this discovery.
No,
right?
no.
So it takes time for it to be scrutized, it get to be proven.
Now, do people jump on and they're like, "No, I discovered that actually."
Well, in some ways, there's a repeat, in
Okay.
terms of like, and what I love about science, so this is another thing that really makes me passionate about this being part of my life, is that we're very inclusive and we're actually a community worldwide of scientists that always work together. So
Right.
in the discovery of the elements, the last 4, one came from Japan, one came from Russia. Well, actually, I think 2 came from Russia. One came from America. We named one after Tennessee. How awesome is that?
wow.
Tennessee
The
gets
Oak
a
Ridge
shout out.
Laboratories in Tennessee.
Wow.
So, these are really cool, like coming together. Let's work on science. Let's
Very
really
cool.
do
Yeah.
some discoveries.
I love
so,
that.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a great moment for me to make a confession
Oh, here he goes.
that I never took chemistry, and now
Who you
I'm like
telling?
really regretting.
I do an online class.
Yeah,
so-
I'm like ready to sign up because this sounds so interesting. But I never had chemistry.
Really?
No, I had
Wow.
biology,
You're not surprised
And the
that
other
you
He probably
sciences.
passed out of it. He probably was one of those
Yeah,
that could take the test,
Right.
I
yeah.
think
and
so.
then score out.
I
of
took a
having to
test
take
just
it.
like the one that we just did, and they were like,
He walked in
You're
and he
good?
goes, F is for
Okay.
Florida. and they go, we have a different class for you. And they send him somewhere else.
Yeah.
different breed. Yeah, I love it.
Some of the
He knows
the
it's
best
true.
musicians came out of consumer math, I promise.
I don't play an instrument.
Okay. So I think the biggest thing with all of the chemical elements and a lot of the information we're getting now is I'm prone to be afraid of things.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
when I hear like, oh, there's this element that could do this, I'm like,
Yeah.
cool. I don't ever want to see it. I don't want to be around it. But we've been fortunate today. You've brought some here in front of us at the table. We have some, it looks to be some chemicals, some kind of science tools.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now Josh is afraid. I'm not
Well,
afraid, but I can
there's
tell
a-
Josh is afraid.
A vessel of squid ink and a
Right.
Bunsen burner.
That's a
That's for-
butane burner.
Same
creme brulee.
difference. Same
Right.
difference,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Besides the gas that it burns.
Yeah, but Bunsen didn't make this one, but it's still good. It still works.
Okay.
And in science, you
My
have to
facts are
give
incorrect.
credit where credit's due.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
So-
is Burnzomatic.
Yeah.
So now, what do we have here, Kim?
Okay, so obviously chemistry is all about the chemical elements, and
Right.
I appreciate Cameron confessing about
Right.
not
I feel like
having.
I just had to
so
let that
you're
go.
actually going to get the first semester of chemistry right here
That's what
with
I'm
me.
talking
I've
about.
been waiting for this my whole
Yeah.
life.
Accredited
so-
right here.
One
Oh,
of
that's
I'm actually
bismuth,
sharing a
right?
few
Is that-
things
Okay.
that blew up on my TikTok, and I
Okay.
thought this was kind of neat for you guys to actually see firsthand.
Right, back up. By blew up on your TikTok, do you mean literally
Ex-
blew up or it went viral? The video went Well, I'm just trying to wrap my head around
a
what's
little
about
bit
to
of
happen.
both. No,
Okay.
Okay,
it basically
good,
went
good.
viral.
Okay.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, I did a TikTok showing that Pepto-Bismol contains bismuth, which is
Uh-huh.
a heavy metal. Feel how heavy that is.
Now,
Okay.
is that a living stone,
That
as
is a
Cameron
heavy-
would
that's the
say?
heaviest
Now,
bismuth
this
I've
is
held all day.
not living.
not a
Okay, this
living
is just
stone.
a piece of bismuth, and it is a heavy
acting.
metal. It's positioned
It is
between
dense.
lead
Oh,
and polonium on the
Okay.
periodic table. And we all know lead. Polonium's radioactive. Okay. But when you're drinking Pepto-Bismol, you're drinking this heavy metal bismuth.
Really?
Yeah.
So if you have a tummy ache, you just shortcut it and just
You
go
can just
right
gnaw
for
on a
some
bismuth bar.
yeah, but look how beautiful it is.
I was just going to describe it.
Yeah.
It looks like, I mean,
an oyster shell.
no, it's beautiful.
That
Like all these
one.
different
an
colors.
oyster. Yeah.
But it does look, it looks lighter than it feels. That's really weird.
It is pretty brittle. And it has a very low melting point compared to like copper or any of the other very common metals, gold,
Wayne will
silver.
pocket this, so just.
Oh,
keep-
that's
yeah.
fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. We can make some more because all I have to do is take some Pepto-Bismol,
No.
do a little simple chemistry, and I can pull out this heavy metal.
What?
No.
So
Wait, are
there's
you
always
serious?
that. Yeah, 100%.
That's incredible.
How much? So
Yeah.
a jug, let's say a 5-gallon jug.
So if now are you talking about the liquid or the tablets?
Now, you got me. I don't know. the
So
difference.
it's gosh, a 5-gallon, probably of all the tablets, you'd probably get a size
Really?
that's like in the palm of your hand.
That's
Wow.
exciting.
You know, a pretty
Really?
good amount. Yeah, because the interesting about Pepto-Bismol, and this is where on TikTok and when I share this kind of science, where people will freak out, like, oh my gosh, we are taking this heavy metal and putting it into our bodies. I wouldn't do that with lead, right?
Amen.
Right.
So why is Pepto-Bismol okay with doing that?
Right.
And we've been drinking these bismuth salts for, gosh, over 100 years. You know,
Right.
who first was the one to do it? I'm not 100% on that one, but I will say this does not go into our body as a pure metal.
Yep.
It goes in as a salt. And that salt doesn't dissolve in our system. So it stays what we
Okay.
consider as a precipitate,
Right.
and it coats our stomach. And so that's what helps with our upset stomach.
Right.
And some people will say, as you might have experienced, that your tongue will turn black,
Okay.
or you might even have dark stool.
right.
That's not because bismuth is necessarily, again, depositing in your mouth or, excreting.
Assaulting
It's just
your
turning
body.
into another compound that doesn't stay absorbed in your body
Okay.
as bismuth sulfide. So
Right.
it doesn't, your body doesn't absorb it. But like anything, too much is always a bad thing.
Right. Sure.
So if you're drinking the pink stuff and it's not the amoxicillin,
right.
Right.
but the
Pink
other
stuff.
pink stuff,
Right.
Yeah.
you're okay. Like as long as it's not an overconsumption, it's totally good. Totally
What's
good.
amazing.
What I
Yeah.
love about this is hearing a word and then watching it go over Cameron's head.
Aw, that's adorable, Josh. You don't want to take credit for that.
So now, I want to kind of just mix in a couple questions here, if we can. Kim, like, when did you realize that chemistry and science, that this was your passion? This was something that
So
you wanted
we are
to do?
leading into my next little demonstration I have for you.
Amazing.
Okay. And I'm going to answer your question.
Yeah,
Based on giving you, if you don't mind holding out your hand,
I
Wayne,
sure will. I trust you.
I'm going to pour this chemical element into your hand.
Oh boy.
And
I can't
when
wait.
it goes into your hand, hopefully I didn't get it too hot.
Oh, wow.
Ah. Well, that's neat.
Silver surfer?
Describe
What
it.
is-
What does it look like to you?
Okay.
It looks like silver.
It looks like someone melted a coin in his hand.
It looks
Right.
like someone melted a quarter in my hand, but
Or a mirror.
It feels like slime or like Jello.
Okay.
Now I
That's
can't
still
eat. I shouldn't
slime
eat this.
So a lot of people will think of like T1000
Yes.
Yep.
From Terminator.
from Terminator.
Like liquid metal.
Can I
Right.
can I pinky it? Or is that
Touch
gonna-
it. Go ahead, Josh. Touch it. Okay, so now
Whoa,
I'm
okay.
poisoning all of you with mercury. I just want to
Whoa.
let you know that.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
on the
kidding.
same side.
I'm
with
kidding,
that.
of course.
I'm comfortable with that.
This is gallium.
Okay.
It
Okay.
looks just
It does look like the
mercury,
thermometer stuff.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And when I was a kid,
Oh.
I was that kid that a broken thermometer, let me get my Dixie cup. And I would
Okay.
scoop it up,
Yep.
right? Play with it on the table. Anytime, there's anything. I was always super curious. We were definitely raised, I'm a Gen Xer, and we did a lot of play outside.
Yeah.
Sure.
And my mom had a huge garden, and we would do bees, and we did maple syrup.
Very
And
cool.
we would have to keep that fire going all through the day and night for brewing our maple, not getting the maple syrup down
Right.
Okay.
by evaporating off all the water.
Yep.
And of course, having 3 older brothers, we would throw
Guilty.
things into the fire, right? That's what
Everything.
kids do, right?
Right,
What'd you throw in the fire,
Oh,
Josh?
spray paint cans mostly.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
Hairspray.
I'm just talking about like
Oh, okay.
a copper pipe.
Leaves.
not
And then
small
maybe
bulbs.
take a
Sorry.
garden hose with the copper pipe, throw it in there, and you see
Right.
colors to the flame. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is that?
That was my
Right?
next
Right.
state.
Right. Oh, here, I know you're holding that. If you
Yeah,
want to
just hold that
How
that
do I-
liquid metal.
I just do this.
yeah,
Okay.
if it'll
Wow. It just.
fall right in there.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
Oh.
now you're left with, but you can wipe it on the towel or whatever. But
Yeah.
you can
Keep
play
it
with
forever.
You can take that home, Wayne.
You can take that's your little sample.
But it looks like I had. But even this is like.
so gallium melts at your
His
body, temperature.
is now. Because it looks
Yeah.
like when you solder electronics.
Doesn't it?
That's
yeah.
what I was-
Same
yeah,
thing.
liquid
Yep.
solder.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, yeah, you see association with it. But yeah, it's 100% safe. And our body has a small trace amount of gallium
Now yours has a
just
little more.
from what we consume.
and I feel really strong. If I'm being honest,
That well, just
That's
that.
a
my
T1000.
right hand feels stronger.
Yeah.
Normally, Wayne can't beat me in arm wrestling.
You want to try it?
Well, later.
I'll break your arm in half.
Okay.
I'm just saying. No.
Yeah.
But this is so. You're saying when you were younger, like kind of seeing those reactions, and it stirred up the curiosity.
Yeah, I was
Oh, that's
always
heavy.
super. Yeah, it's a pretty
Yeah.
well, my amount
Can he
that
hold
I have.
it? I mean,
feel
he's
that.
really weak
wow.
too.
But yeah, the curiosity and the one thing, especially with what makes me super passionate about what I
Wow.
do and the outreach that I do with bringing science to the community
Right.
is to, help people find what they're interested in and showing maybe it is science. Maybe you have been curious like I was. And science will help you, maybe not give you the answers, but teach you how to find the answers.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Or even you might not find the answers, but you'll have a lot of fun in the journey, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Right.
So, a lot of
That's
times,
cool.
and I think this applies not just being as Chemical Kim to most everyone when you're curious, like what, I know Josh struggles with this, like what do you want to do with your life, Josh, right?
Amen.
Right.
God, it's
Like
a
what is
daily
it
struggle.
that,
This is true.
and I always say, what did you enjoy as a little kid? Like what was that
Yeah.
thing that you wanted to be?
Streaking.
Well, that is a
Mostly.
career, and you could teach others too, Josh. You could
To
go
streak?
into like education of streaking.
I don't know
So
if I can educate kids on streaking.
No, but
But I
I
there's
appreciate-
always someone that
There's
wants
always
something,
someone.
right?
That's
There's
true.
always
Yeah.
someone.
That's true.
And willing to pay.
Yeah.
Amen.
Well, that
Yeah.
he'll make more than money than teachers. So
That's true.
But the amazing thing about it is like I almost feel a little bit of like overload, like between trying to feel and discern what I'm feeling with this chemical in my hand, but then also what I'm seeing doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's
Well,
the-
to see a molten metal almost in his hand without his hand burning through,
Right.
Yeah.
it's kind of tricky to look at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and my heart, I'm not gonna lie, was racing as you poured it in, and then like whenever it's like I don't know, like trying to take it all in is just really
Right.
really cool. I love
So
it.
now you
Yeah.
know how I felt when you put the snake on my neck. in
Okay.
the-
They're a little
the
different.
Gatorland. I thought I was going to that snake was gonna melt right through me too.
Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
the guy that discovered, or girl, God, that's so sexist.
The person.
The person
Scientist.
that discovered
Yeah.
bismuth,
Yeah.
did they freak out? And they're like, what's going to happen to me?
You
Or did they
mean
cover
in
their
terms
body in
of drinking the Pepto? Like
No,
the
just it
bismuth
coming
Just
stuff?
like
across it
finding something
generally
new,
in
I think.
You
nature.
know, I imagine. See, the one thing with science is that we can say, okay, this person discovered, this person discovered. But I'm a true believer that there have been many people that have discovered it.
Yeah.
It's just that matter of like, this is who wrote it down.
I gotcha.
You know,
Who
and this
had
is
the
sort of
means to
or
write
maybe
it
had
down.
a little bit more of a political push
Yep.
to what
Right.
they discovered.
Or the
Um,
free time to continue exploring it.
Yeah, because
That
I even
takes a
look
lot.
at like here in Florida,
Yep.
you know, the people that lived here before then, like Spain came and France. You're like, what did they discover?
Right.
You know, and what science were they doing?
Mhm.
And so, you know, if we can, especially to the kids that go to school here in Florida,
Yeah.
bring that science to them also, because it brings more diversity and also brings an association to like ancestry
Right.
and science. You
That's
know, and-
amazing.
Now,
Yeah.
bismuth crystal, is it going to be found? This is for Cameron. Is it, not to answer, but for his knowledge, is it
Right.
going to be found loose in nature somewhere?
You know, it can be stable, as you can see. I'm not like storing it in oil or water, but because it makes, and if you look at a bismuth crystal, what you're going to see is all these beautiful kind of like iridescent coloring. That's because it does get an oxide coating. So it does react with the oxygen in the atmosphere. So it's not necessarily like in its pure state. It still has, and that's
Okay.
what we find with most minerals.
I
And there's
gotcha.
so many interesting, I could literally go through like 20 podcasts of all cool, interesting element stories of like a town that was made out of gold because they didn't know that
Oh my gosh.
like the gold was as a compound in the soil.
I
That's
gotcha.
incredible.
Yeah,
Jeez.
so that was not in Florida, but hey, who knows? Maybe
Who
we
knows?
could go find that town.
That's phenomenal.
That's
very cool.
And so, have you found that because you've been teaching,
Yeah.
and you travel and you share this a lot, I feel like it's one of those things where we discussed this a little bit earlier. You have to kind of watch somebody love something before you really get it. And I think you're a prime example of that because you're so passionate about this. And like I said, we've been fans way before, actually meeting you in person.
Right.
And that's part of the attraction is you are so passionate
Yep.
about science. And
Your
it
passion
makes,
drives passion.
yeah, it makes me want to learn more. And this
Yeah.
has been phenomenal. It's,
Yeah, I honestly say I feed my addiction. I'm lucky that I get to do that
Sure,
with
sure.
teaching and
Yeah.
studying science. And I'll always go back to, like you said, it's who you see, doing the science. And
Yep.
so with my outreach, I try to make someone that looks like me more visible.
Sure. Very
So
cool.
that there is someone that's young or even someone that's thinking to go back into school that changed their career and like, oh my gosh, I can connect with her.
Yeah.
You know,
Right. Yeah.
like
Right.
she makes sense and she's also teaching science in a way that I can understand.
right.
It's not just for an elite group. I always joke with my students when I start every class and even when I go and do my science outreach that after the end of my program or my class, you're all going to change your major into science.
Right.
Like you're
Really?
all going to want to become
Wow.
scientists. And, sometimes that happens and I'll hear that. But that's really how I approach when I present my science is that like, I want to show you something that has brought so much happiness and joy into my life. And hopefully, you'll feel that same and you'll have a connectivity with me.
That's
So,
incredible.
Yeah.
Very
yeah.
Now, I see that there seems to be a torching device
Mhm.
Right.
on the
Enzymatic.
table.
Yeah, this
Uh,
is for the next example element. And I'm going to have Josh help me with this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Well, I have a natural steady hand. And
Right.
a science hand.
we'll just
Right.
do a really small piece. Okay?
Okay.
So what I have here is actually kind of like a tarnished piece of metal
Okay.
that kind of looks like aluminum that has sat out for a while. So it's no longer really shiny.
Okay. I feel
And-
comfortable you kept that in your pocket.
Yeah, I keep this in my pocket all the time. I
But
mean,
now
who
you're
doesn't?
just holding it with force.
You know, I'm sure a lot of Florida men will keep a pocket knife, right?
Right, sure.
Yeah, so Chemical Kim keeps this metal in her pocket. So this is my pocket knife.
I love it.
Okay, wow.
And I'll tell you, if I have enough of it, I can, open a wall. It's
Really?
that.
Whoa.
What is about to happen?
I know.
I
It's
love this.
Okay.
really quite fantastic. So, Josh, have you ever used one of those torches there?
It's a push button.
It's a push button.
Okay,
Yep.
should I
But
grab it?
it has a little safety feature for kids. So
Okay.
Oh.
This is going
you're
to
going to
trick
have
me.
It's gonna
to
take
pull
a
down
minute.
the back, back knob.
Oh,
Oh, there you go. And so just
I already bypassed.
you did it.
The child.
You did it. So
Now it's gone again.
so I'm using a super small piece of this metal just because in case there's some americium in the room.
Right.
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 I don't want
Did
it to detect it.
Did we bring that meter?
The americium
the
meter?
americium meter?
And I'm locked out. I'm locked out of the flame
Okay, you got
gun.
to pull that little.
You have to
that
play
part
the
down,
Star Spangled Banner
down.
and then
to
push
find out how much
and
is
then hold
the
it
room.
in after you push it in.
Oh, it's fooled me.
Uh-oh.
I'm not very.
Here, I can get it started for you, and then I'll give it
Cameron
to you.
is
Now,
more of
after I
the-
light this for you, Josh, I want you to hold it away from your face
Okay.
and hold
See,
on.
it wasn't just okay.
Now,
Okay. Oh, okay. It's
Kim is
locked
showing
on.
Josh how to use the child torch.
Right.
Okay, now the flame is
we
going.
have flames.
Away
Don't
from
point
my-
at me.
Okay.
Point it away from everybody's face,
Yeah.
not just your own.
We are going to do a
Pervert.
little reaction with this metal.
I don't know what's about to happen.
A combination reaction. Okay.
Yeah, that's.
And
I was going to
because
ask. Is this a
you have
combination reaction?
right, and we're going to combine it with oxygen.
Oh,
Okay, you ready?
the blue
I'm ready
flame
for
is now it's.
Okay, we're heating up the loose.
Oh,
metal.
Oh,
Well,
That is so
that's
bright.
bright.
Oh my
Right.
gosh.
That is bright.
And if you're a Harry Potter fan, Lumos.
Yes.
Okay, never heard
Super,
of it.
super bright.
Science and magic are just.
What I love
Oof.
about this metal.
What just happened?
That
I
was
just turned it off.
insane.
I feel like
And-
I welcomed a demon into the room.
I'm still seeing stars
true?
from looking right at that. That was
Yeah.
You weren't
so
supposed to
Oh,
stare
I
at
forgot to tell you, don't stare directly at the
Oh,
light.
I looked right
Oh,
at
I'm
it.
sorry,
Looked right at
Cameron.
it.
I was like, look
You're
at that
gonna
bad
see
boy.
those spots for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Come
but it's
on.
it's
It's
totally
worth it.
fine.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might want to go to the eye doctor.
Okay.
I did
Oh,
the same thing
this
during the
seems-
eclipse.
Yeah.
I just stared right at it.
Well, he saw
It's
the
one of those
president.
things. See, that's another thing.
Different
This-
science. Different
Yeah.
science. Yeah.
This is what cracks me up too about the TikTok, and even like,
Right.
so I always try and do safe science unless I, let
That's
them-
a good. I always
you know,
try to do safe
except
science.
this one, right?
Right.
Josh?
Right, right.
But if I do something like this, that little disclaimer, I won't even say don't try it at home. I won't explain to the point where they know how to do it.
right.
You
Right.
really
So-
didn't.
It always makes me laugh when I do see some of these videos that go up that kids will watch that are like, don't try this at home, but they literally will show them how you tried it at home.
You need
Right.
this
No,
ingredient.
that's
this
true.
One, this
Yeah.
one. 4
Yeah.
ounces of this one.
This is where you buy this ingredient. Yeah.
This is like, it's an invitation.
Right.
So, Josh, don't try that one at
I don't
home.
even know what we did.
See?
Just check your pocket, see if
So,
you have any of that metal.
We're going to
in it.
mute Josh so I can explain to.
Right.
I love that.
There's no metal in my pocket. It
Right,
was not like a
yeah.
magic trick.
I'm just curious though, how many of you knew you could burn metal that easily?
No,
I
zero
didn't know
idea.
any
I mean, I'm
light.
going to try now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, and
I'll
I
start
don't
burning
know
anything.
if it gave it away when I said I could go and open a wall with
Yeah.
Still
something this
nothing.
metal.
We're gone. We're lost.
Magnesium.
Really?
Okay.
Magnesium, right? Magnesium rods.
That was going to be my third guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And magnesium is a very light metal, as you know. And what's crazy is that we got that up to like over 2,000 degrees, Josh.
Just
No.
now?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Okay. I
if
felt
it got
the heat.
out of
I
hand,
thought.
if it got out of
This
hand and
guy.
Cameron ran to the bathroom to get
Right.
water to try and put that out,
Yeah.
he would actually start creating a hydrogen bomb right in front of us.
Why is this so
Well,
easy? Okay.
I woke up this morning
Because-
wanting to.
I know.
Yeah,
To
it's,
try.
it's on his bucket list. A hydrogen bomb.
He's on
Yeah.
some kind of
It
list now.
should
Oh
be
my
at the
gosh.
bottom of
Yeah,
your bucket
because
list.
this is at such high energy that
Yeah.
when water goes onto it, it splits the water molecule
This
into
is cool.
hydrogen and oxygen.
Yep.
Now you have a flame and it's exploding the hydrogen.
That
so this is why
so
firefighters
crazy.
can't take water to a magnesium fire.
I was wondering that.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's
Yes.
some car parts, a lot of car parts that actually do have magnesium.
Okay.
Maybe
If I'm right
catalytic
about
converter?
this, the what?
I don't know.
Oh,
I
the
just
catalytic-
named
I don't
some
think
part
that,
of a car.
but like there's if I'm right about this, there's a Volkswagen, the new Volkswagen.
Uh-huh.
Well, they're not new, but the not the 1970s, but the
Right.
like 2000 Beetle.
Okay. Okay.
The engine I think has quite a bit of magnesium.
Oh no.
I might be wrong on that, but
So is
Ooh,
that
that's
where
so
you would
confusing
use
to
like
be a firefighter.
Don't
You
hold
would
a
use
torch
like
at it.
Yeah, what would you use to put a magnesium fire out? So like a
More
I know,
magnesium,
right? You don't want anything that will give it oxygen.
Right.
Because if you
Jesus.
check out my TikTok, I have a video that shows burning magnesium between 2 blocks of dry ice. And it's crazy.
And it doesn't.
It literally splits the carbon dioxide to get
That
the
is
oxygen.
crazy.
That's crazy.
So they
It's-
have to drive the Volkswagen into a vacuum, I assume?
That could be a choice.
Okay.
Launch
Yeah.
into space.
That's
You
one
should
way.
propose that, Josh. I
Yeah.
think that would
As
be
a firefighter.
I
You're
would
so
love-
helpful. You have
a large vacuum?
the amount of knowledge that you could
So where
use
does
to
one
improve
purchase
life.
this? This strip of metal called
I'll
magnesium?
meet you out back.
Okay, yeah, thank
Uh,
you. You got a dealer? You got a magnesium
do.
dealer?
Shh.
And a flamethrower. That's
Yeah,
what
I
yeah.
love this.
Well, that's funny you say that about being a dealer. I do joke with not joke.
Uh-oh.
Well, I don't know if I
Here she
should confess
goes.
this because I might lose my job.
Uh-oh.
You should.
But I always let my students know because I teach college level, and that's the age that's really,
Has
you know,
access to things.
yeah, are curious. You
Right,
know,
right.
oh, chemistry, right? So I promise them 2 things.
Okay.
One, I'll teach them how to do acid.
right.
And then
Amen.
2, I will
Shaking her
teach
head.
them how to make crack.
Right. Amen.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, it's
right?
education.
Wow.
No,
Right.
it's educational. and
Our
it's,
Educational.
show family friendly.
It's
I
You're
think.
not
it's-
saying that they should.
it's
But
Right.
okay, now
It's Florida-centric.
to tag on to that, because again, I do focus on education for kids.
Right. Okay.
Acid is drinking, or not drinking, but eating sour candy.
Right.
Citric acid?
You want to do acid? Have some sour candy.
okay. I
'Cause
see what
that's
you're
what
saying.
it is. All
Is that why you
concentrated
eat so much
fruit
sour
acid.
I
candy?
love sour
He
candy.
You
literally
like
loves-
acid.
I love acid.
See, you
Yeah.
love acid.
I will
Right.
trip
Yep.
on some acid.
Yep.
I mean, eat some gummies.
Uh-huh.
Right. I
I
honestly,
knew that about you, Josh.
You can tell.
I know a lot more than you think.
I don't. Yeah.
I'm
I'm
still
like
kind of
number one
upset that
Josh
you
fan
guys
club.
hung out before the
Yeah,
production
yeah.
started. That
Me
you
too.
guys
Well,
had your night
Well,
adventure.
we
I mean,
have some
we had a lot
pictures.
of-
I put together a photo album,
We went to Bach Tower together.
and I superimposed if we had children together.
How do they look?
Like
Terrible. They look bad.
they're all wearing lab coats.
Yeah.
Can
They're
we?
burning magnesium everywhere.
Yeah.
Amen.
Can we before we sign off? If Josh discovered an element,
Oh,
Okay.
what do you think it would be called, Kim? If you
That
had
is
to
a
name
fantastic
an
question.
element that
Oh,
Josh
God
discovered.
bless.
And then next question would be if
You
Josh
know.
was an element, what element would he be?
okay. Slow down.
I think Josh would be a noble gas
Thank you.
Oh,
because he's
man,
not
yeah.
too reactive.
No,
Right.
I'm pretty
He's
slow to
pretty-
react, if I'm honest.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
slow to react.
Thank you.
and noble.
And-
I didn't need confirmation on that.
Yeah. Well, and everyone that loves Superman,
Right.
Krypton, even though it's not kryptonite,
Right.
but definitely has Krypton. But
Come on.
Kryptonite was
they don't
that
really want to
song.
react. And that too, right?
Yeah.
And you're kind of like Superman to me. at
Oh,
least.
I can't. I
So-
can't handle this. This is
So
too much.
sweet.
I
Yeah.
love it.
I'm
No,
being set up here, and she's gonna take my wallet outside.
Well, only if you take my magnesium.
Okay.
right. Well, Kim, we appreciate you so much.
Yeah,
thank you
honestly.
so much for hanging out with us and spending some time
Yes.
just teaching us. And we do have a video element to this episode, so you can find that on YouTube.
Yep.
And then we're going to be doing some TikTok collaborations here shortly. But we just want to say, honestly, all three of us are so impressed
Yeah.
by
absolutely.
you and what you do.
Just the
and
passion, the pure passion. too.
100%.
Yeah.
We're
And
honored.
the skills. He's impressed with the passion. I'm impressed with the skills.
Yeah.
And I'm impressed with both.
The drive.
Well, and I do appreciate what you do because, honest, you bring so much joy and happiness to your listeners.
Wow.
Just being one
I
that,
can't.
I was listening to Florida Men before you reached out to me
Mhm.
and before Josh and I connected.
Yeah, Bach Tower.
And truth be told, I actually stalked Josh. That's how we connected. But,
Anyways, I can't handle this. This is too much compliments.
But anyway, it really is important when you can make happiness in a person that has
Sure.
to go through something like, this time that we are in. And,
Right.
True.
Yeah.
no, and you educate. You
Yep.
really do educate.
We try to.
Yeah.
We honestly try to. Wayne does during his
Yeah.
segment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Cameron does.
Yeah. And you're just good fellas. Like
Oh.
you're just
Even
the
in
kinda-
person. Told you. Spectators.
We were worried that you'd change your opinion after you met us, but
Yeah.
No,
we
it just
still
got
feel good.
better.
Well,
No.
no, it's
So now I have 2 more pictures to put up on the wall next to Josh's.
there you go. Come on. I love
can't
it.
imagine what picture that is.
Well, we
Oh.
appreciate you. We appreciate our time together, and we're looking forward to working together again in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just thank you
Yeah.
so
Very
much.
much so.
And once again, where can everybody find?
Yeah, so
Kim?
Kim, I want to kind of give you a chance to kind of highlight where you are on social media, your website. Where can people go if they want to find more of what you do?
Yeah, so for sure, Instagram and TikTok are usually my bigger accounts with looking for stuff I put up.
Right.
And those are both Chemical Kim.
Okay.
And then on Twitter's chemical_Kim. And then my website, that's my email, but my website, chemicalkim.com.
Okay, perfect.
And I do a lot of outreach in the community, mostly volunteer, and I do try and reach more underserved populations. So a big shout out to a group I'm going to be doing this week in Wisconsin, the STEM Squad.
Cool.
So that'll be really fun. A group of young girls that I'm going to do Harry Potter science with. So
Oh,
I'm
that
really
is
looking
so
forward to that.
cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Can I come?
Yeah.
Awesome.
You should have a
Just,
Patreon so that people can support your month.
You know, the one thing, and I talked with this, or we had this conversation before, with that teachers, you know, I do advocate to helping teachers,
Oh, yeah.
especially, you know, like we really need to support our teachers,
Yeah.
100%, 100%.
Right.
And we do volunteer as teachers a lot. And I do it, of course, because I'm very passionate about it. And again, feeding my addiction. But in terms of the Patreon, I've thought about it, but really, for the most part, somehow I make it work where it's not financially a burden to me.
You're buying magnesium.
And I was going to
now.
say, you know, I have these chemicals and I
Yeah.
know how to make silver and
Oh,
you know, these
okay.
really cool.
Okay.
There it is.
Wow.
That's the secret.
No, but I also give a big shout out to my place of employment right now, Florida Southwestern State College. They are fantastic with supporting
Really?
me.
That's awesome.
And it's
Very
a
cool.
great place for learning if you're looking at a place
Absolutely.
in Florida.
Very cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you again so much. And thank you to everybody who's listening. This is The Social, episode number 2. And we'll see you next time.
See you
Yes.
next time.
Yeah.
Down upon the Swanee River, far, far away. That's where my heart is yearning ever, home where the old folks stay.
They are.
I do that one more time.
Don't act impressed. You were impressed when I did that.
I told you to break the